A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Amish, Baptist, Catholic, Taoist, Evangelical. I could continue through the alphabet all the way to Zoroastrianism. Yes, I can make an alphabetical list of world religions. When I attended the Parliament of World Religions in Toronto, I learned that there are more than 4,000 known religions in our world, and I have to think really hard to list 40 of them. Welcome to Calm in the Chaos. This is our third God Talk in our three-part series of lists. I opened today with a list of religions, and I challenge you to make your own list of known religions. No help from Google. Just name every faith tradition you can think of, even if you just know the name and know nothing about them. Why? Because yesterday began the United Nations World Interfaith Harmony Week. And we ask ourselves, how can we relate to people who follow a faith tradition that's not the same as ours? Well, as much fun as that exercise might be of listing world religions, our focus is really not on that list, but rather on a list of what I call the cosmic traits of goodness. You see, every religion has some teachings that are similar to one another. So today I'm going to connect some dots and help us to notice how the tradition of being a good person crosses faith paths and transcends time. The point of this is to begin to create a unity among all people, to help us erase some of the lines in the sand where there's an us and them duality. Learning how to be a non-duality thinker is a step towards our spiritual maturity. Let's begin. I'd like you to picture a grain hopper. And the grain hopper is going to be bisected with filters, like giant furnace filters cutting through the hopper, each filter symbolizing a world faith tradition. Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, and so forth. Now pour any issue into the top of that hopper. War over water rights, for instance. Pour in a discussion about food insecurity. Pour in a family dispute. Pour in the issues of the world. And what makes it through all the filters? What comes out the bottom? Love. We are taught at every turn to make our decisions from a place of love, not of anger, not of hate, not of fear. Love. This brings me to what is known as the Golden Rule. This premise of treating others the way we want to be treated shows up in all major religions. The translated statements range from this: all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. That's from the book of Matthew in the Bible. How about this one? No one of you is a believer until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. From the Holy Quran of Islam. And then there's this: what is hurtful to yourself, do not do to your fellow man. From Judaism. Love most definitely tops our list today of cosmic traits of goodness. Let's see what else is on the list. What other traits and characteristics do we find in sacred literature? I'm going to refer to 4 verses in the Bible, in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verses 14, 15, 22, and 23. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command: Love your neighbor as yourself. If you bite and devour each other, watch out or you will be destroyed by each other. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Joy is on the list right after love. Have you felt your joy meter slowly falling towards zero during the pandemic? A lot of us have felt that. So I offer a lesson I learned from Bishop Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama in their book that was published in 2016. It's called The Book of Joy. Two men whose lives have been turned upside down, one by exile, the other by a cancer diagnosis, and they have chosen to live every minute in joy. It's a choice each of us has. Peace is our next cosmic trait. Let's remind ourselves that peace is not absence of war any more than health is defined as absence of illness. Peace is so much more than that. True peace is having enough wisdom and self-knowledge to be confident that we can withstand the little bumps in the road and the gigantic potholes that threaten to break our axles. Peace is the cloak that we can wrap around anxiety and worry. Finding our peace when the world feels upside down is a huge challenge, to be sure. But spiritual practices and building a community of like-minded people can help. Here's a quote from one of the most famous modern-day monks, Thich Nhat Hanh. Peace is not something to hope for in the future. Peace is something that we can be in every moment. If we want peace, we have to be peace. Peace is a practice and not a hope. Self-control and forbearance go hand in hand for me. Forbearance is a word that I admit I don't use very often in my everyday speech, but I do use the synonym patience. Patience is a learned response to something that happens. I have a very dear friend who insists that she just wasn't given the gift of patience when God handed out the gifts at birth. And I admit I wasn't either. I'm still working hard on this one. What I have found is that adopting a patient response to a situation allows me to feel the presence of God inside the event. It gives me time to connect to the essence of the situation. I notice also that the root of the word forbearance indicates that I am to hold, to withstand, to bear what is happening for a while. Hence, the patience. Kindness signs are popping up in front yards, and I love it. Remember the phrase random acts of kindness? Well, they need not be so random. My friend Chet the bread man spreads kindness as well as anyone I know. Chet has baked and given away over 10,000 loaves of bread in the last decade. And with the bread comes a bread time story or two, showing how kindness spreads love and builds community. He's an inspirational man. Look up Chet the bread man on Google. Goodness and gentleness are cousins in the family of kindness. Goodness implies making choices that are good not just for myself, but for the larger community, for you. Whether that's for my neighbors, my family, my town, my world. Gentleness is my favorite antithesis to violence. I do not see how being violent and being gentle could coexist. Gentle means handle with care. Handle my heart, my decisions, my life, and handle your heart and life with a soft touch. Keep my footprint on the earth as small as I can make it. And when violent events occur around me or on the news, I think of Mr. Fred Rogers and do what he taught on his television program years ago. Look for the helpers, he said. There are always helpers in every situation, and when you see them, learn from them and then be a helper. As the ambulance or fire truck whizzes by my house, I can be a helper by pausing and sending up a quick prayer, and I do that. On a grander scale, I can either be the helper by doing the difficult work or support the others who are doing that work to build a peaceful and gentle presence. For faithfulness, I simply ask you to consider, to what are you dedicated? To your family? To your values? To God? To your work environment? How is your life balanced with faithfulness, and where might you want to rebalance? When I begin my office work each morning, I pause to jot down what had my attention and in what order that particular morning before I sat down to the desk. Well, this morning, the order was dogs, God, people I love, service, vitamins, and nutritious food. Yes, you heard me right. God was not number one today. I did a quick check of why, and reality showed me why. Usually I begin my day by stepping out on the back porch and stretching to the heavens and say a quick prayer out loud. It's when I let my dachshund out. But I brought home a new pup a few days ago, and she requires immediate attention in the morning, hence my reorganized morning routine. So there's our list. It doesn't matter how you identify as a follower of any given faith path. These cosmic traits of goodness simply help all of us to be better human beings in relation to one another, which results in being closer to our spiritual identity. We've wrapped up our 3-part series of lists, and it's time to pray. Here at Calm in the Chaos, we use the word God, but the term has many meanings because each of us comes to Spirit in a unique way and may define God in a way that's very personal and not aligned with anyone else's perception. Please join me in prayer, praying to the God of your understanding. Great Spirit God, we come to you today with grateful hearts. We do not take for granted the bounty of opportunities and gifts that are before us each day. We feel your presence as we're surrounded by everything we need and in community with everyone we need. Help us to see that every experience and every person teaches us lessons our souls need to learn on earth. We come to you with thanksgiving that our collective health may be restored with vaccines and continued precautions. We are grateful for our friends, named silently now. For our family members, named silently. And we give thanks for these individual blessings in our lives. We also come to you with heavy hearts for our friends and family who are struggling with finances, with relationships, and with health. Make your presence known in each of their lives so they can feel loved. We are working towards adopting and strengthening our individual commitment to love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Open our eyes to remember that you are traveling with us on this journey. With all that is holy, we say Om Shanti 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 Shalom. Amen. In our music today, you will hear a country singer named Tim McGraw, and in the video you will see Christians, Hindus, Jews, Buddhists, Muslims, Sufis, people from every age, from the city and from the country, people from all over the world who are our sisters and brothers in this journey. If you can't cut and paste or copy and paste, just search for the title and singer, Tim McGraw, Humble and Kind, on YouTube. Let's move gently with eyes open through our week of interfaith awareness and love.